Untamed is going to be untamed. It's going to be a little crazy. I want to talk to my people. I want to talk to my brothers and sisters. We can have grace and humility in how we interact with other people.
Oh, hot dog, look at you.
And nobody talked about what's really happening.
And let's have conversations about what truth is.
I think I can safely say I've reached the final tier of like the red pilling process where it's like, I'm at the clear pill. I'm at the retard pill. Because I have all this information and there's like, it doesn't matter how much you know because there's nothing you can do about it. So it's like, dude, everything is fake. Our presidents are literally chosen for us. Our elections are rigged and literally don't matter anymore. Jeffrey Epstein somehow won the Powerball twice. The lottery's fake. The Rothschilds wrote all the books. Our history's a complete lie the deeper you get into that. Everyone they said was evil and crazy actually kind of, I think, had some points. And then all the people that have been accusing people of doing evil shit were the most evil people the whole time. So you know what? Just log off. Who cares? Just go enjoy your life. There's nothing's gonna happen to these people. They're just with us at this point. Both sides are shit.
Well, there you go. And let me finish what she was going to say. Both sides are shit. That's what happens when you have fake and stolen elections. Right there. That's what happens when you have people that are selected, not elected. That's what happens when you have people that, frankly, are, let's just use the Cranes for an example. You have Matt Crane, that's the county clerk and recorder for Arapahoe County. His wife is working for Dominion Voting Systems. Her brother is working for the city and county of Denver as the election czar. He leaves there, goes to the county clerk and recorder's office, best friends with Eric Coomer at Dominion Voting Systems. Lisa Flanagan Crane changes her name, so it's Flanagan. Her brother, Mr. Flanagan, working for Denver. Then you have Matt Crane over here saying nothing to see there. There is no there. You have Kyle Clark running cover for pedophiles in the state of Colorado. You have fake and fraudulent people that are passing laws, and you're wondering why she's red-pilled, which is actually black-pilled. She's not red-pilled. She's black-pilled. She's coming to a conclusion that you cannot fix what is absolutely rigged from end to end. And how about the part about Epstein winning the lottery a couple times, the Powerball? They just fill their coffers whenever they want, pressing buttons to do whatever they want at your expense. 56 cents on every dollar goes to these clowns. You pay taxes so they can make you a slave. And when you point out the things that are obvious to anyone, they're like, oh, you know what, oh, wait, we're going to drop a rocket over here. We're going to do something over here. Or, oh, there's a woman missing in her 70s who happens to be tied to another person who's I don't even know. But you go to Fox News and you look for it really carefully, and guess what? There's nothing said on there. Not one thing about the Epstein files. Go to foxnews.com right now. Go look at it. Tell me what you see. None of it will say anything about the Epstein files. None of it will talk about what's happening with Dominion Voting Systems. None of it will talk about what's happening with Maduro. Nothing. Nothing that you see is real, because it's not what is important to the American people. Now, they want to convince you, and pretty much most of the idiots on the left and the right, the people that I call the I don't even know, the dimwits, the ebits. Oh, that must be what people are concerned about. They're concerned about potholes, not concerned about the fact they can't feed their family. We're going to talk to Mark Cook this morning. We're going to talk about election fraud. We're going to talk about the machines, Dominion. We're going to talk about what the code is able to do. We're going to talk about processes and how those processes inside of the Dominion system are able to just delete themselves after they're done. And that they can set up an election to steal the election at any level. They can steal a mayor's race. They can steal a town council member's race. They can steal across the board and change communities overnight. And they do it with the machines and the mail-in ballots. And you can't get anywhere on Twitter right now, or X, without seeing it. You can't go anywhere on Facebook without it being suppressed. You can't go anywhere on any of the other platforms and get the truth about anything. It's like one big effing lie. But Mark Cook, the reason why I'm bringing him on is that yesterday he put up a pretty powerful X post. And I shared it, but I missed it. So Mark, welcome to the show as you sit in a Thai restaurant getting served by a robot.
I hate robots, but that's okay. There are some people here too, which is great. Good to be here with you.
Mark, tell us. Tell us about the post you put up yesterday. Do we have it? Do we want to put it up?
Yeah, throw it up there. I'll tell you that the woman you had on at the very, very beginning, that clip, yeah, I get it. That's what a lot of people are experiencing. That's what a lot of citizens are starting to realize. But no need to be black-pilled, because this is our opportunity to take our whole nation back. So
Well,
I'm glad your eyes are open. That's great. But we're going to fix this. There we go. All right. So let's see which one this was. This is a hidden web server. So just so everyone...
I'm actually more concerned about the procedures. So you had another one that talked about the procedures with...
Okay.
Let's
Stored procedures.
Let's talk about this one first. Walk me through it.
Okay. So just so everyone knows the context of this, if everyone doesn't know, I was Tina Peters' lead forensic guy. So I got access to those images to examine them for her case. I just wanted to get to the truth. That's it. Just show the truth. And whatever the truth was it. So what I found when I was looking through the system is a problem after problem after problem. And this is what we're looking at here. I found a hidden web server running on this system. And so people know what a web server is. It's like a website server. It serves websites. And normally you have websites that are on the internet. I'm not saying this is on the internet, nor does it need to be. I'm just saying that there is a web server running on this EMS system that is the system that aggregates all the votes. So basically you throw the ballots in the tabulators, they suck the ballots in, they supposedly tabulate what's on them, put them into a database, and that database lives on this system. And I've looked through all the manuals in Dominion. I've been looking at them for years. I've never seen any mention of a web server anywhere in those manuals. Yet I see a web server running on this system. And not only is it running on this system, but it has a bunch of reports that have eyes basically into the results of elections that are on the system. All these different things that can be pulled up. And this web server that's running has in their firewall on this system, it's completely wide open. So Dominion has actually opened up a port in their firewall to allow connections from any IP address directly into this web server that then has a connection into the database, not only where the votes are stored, but where the configuration of each election is, which is absolutely unbelievable. And it's all unencrypted. And so back in the day, remember everyone was using HTTP, and then all of a sudden to get to your bank, you had to type HTTPS in. Well, that S stands for secure, or SSL. And what that meant was the information was encrypted on your computer. So when you put in your username and password, your computer encrypted it before it got sent out to the other side. And then as information came back, it was also encrypted on the way back to your computer, and then your computer decrypted it. That's the S. Without the S, everything is out in plain text and wide open. And they had the without the S port connected to this web server here. So that's what I found originally. And this is the list of all the different reports is what we're looking at on screen right now.
Okay.
And I showed pictures of all these reports too.
So then you had someone that, by the way, posted on that. You had someone that posted on this. Let me go through really quick if I can.
Sure.
Who this person was? They said it was a shareware from 1994. He said this is not hidden feature, but the integrated Microsoft SQL Server reporting service is a standard tool for generating and viewing election reports. He did that. And go ahead.
Then he blocked me. Then he blocked me. Right. Exactly. And so there's some people out there that they have a little bit more knowledge than most, so they like to throw some knowledge out just to pump up their ego a little bit. That's okay. But it is odd that someone would put something out and then immediately block me so I could not respond. That's usually an operative that would do that to try to discredit information so people don't believe it. And then they don't want anyone to be able to respond to that. So I just took a screenshot of it and I posted my response anyway, just to let people know what it is. So yeah, I'd look into who that person is and who's behind that account. Probably one of the people that's part of the infrastructure that's been lying to all the American people anyway.
Well, look, they're running away from there's an anger level and there's a frustration level with people like me and others like me and like you, where
I've never seen you angry.
We've never, look, man, I tell you what, the gaslighting's got to stop. These people walk around the gaslight over and over and over again. This is not a victimless crime. Like, for decades, people have died, been abused, victimized. We've allowed tax laws to change, people's rights to change, people's rights to be stripped from them.
Ruined lives.
Yeah.
Hundreds of millions of lives. And in fact, if you look at nationwide, because it's not just happening in the US, elections are being stolen all over the world. I had someone contact me from South Korea, this morning saying, we're having the same problems that you're experiencing. We're having the problems here. We think our election was just stolen. And I know it was because I looked into the South Korean elections before the election, and it had exactly the same architecture because someone reached out to me from South Korea and I told them, watch out for this, this, and this. And then it happened. And then people in Canada are reaching out too. So this is a worldwide issue. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to the I think the one that I really want to talk about, and that is the Dominion proof of concept. We've been talking about stored procedures. Matter of fact, we talked about that a bit in the Eric Coomer deposition. I can't say any more than that, but I can say that was one of the areas that we've talked about. Now we know more about Eric Coomer and Dominion voting systems and John Polis and the Serbians and the head of the Serbian Dominion, Goran. But this is interesting. So let's go to the first one. Do you have this? You guys have this? Here it is. Proof of concept, a special stored procedure that moves 25% of one candidate votes to another candidate during the result reporting stage and automatically self-destruction returns to the original stored procedure without leaving any trace that was there. The proof of concept, even though the voting system would allow this, do not install it on a Dominion voting system. That would be illegal. As Joe says, just don't. Tell me about this.
Okay, so what I wanted to explain to people, and I wanted to do this years ago, but people weren't up to speed enough to understand this information. So I threw it out 3 or 4 years ago. One, I didn't want to, the administration was different. I also didn't want to do anything that would cause a problem with the elections, et cetera. But, we're just in the window right now that's so critical that I had to come out and share this information. So what this is, first of all, stored procedures, if anyone doesn't know what stored procedures are, they're little mini programs. And these mini programs can be embedded into a database. And that's why it's called the stored procedure. It's a procedure that's stored in the database. And those little mini programs in the database aren't really part of the original source code of the voting system. So when they say, oh, these systems are tested and certified and all this stuff, and people are talking about source code reviews and whatnot, the stored procedures are probably not part of the original source code review. And I've never even seen proof of a real source code review anyway. The only source code review I've seen, and the source code is like the original program, essentially. The only review I've seen is a review for basic syntax errors, like spelling mistakes, kind of. If you have a Word document and you looked at just spelling mistakes or formatting errors, that's the equivalent of what people are doing when they're looking at the voting system source code. They're not looking at the content of what you wrote in Word. They're not looking at how the program actually works and how it could be abused. They're just looking for common mistakes. And so the stored procedures wouldn't necessarily be part of that. In fact, they're created after the fact. The stored procedures are put in the databases, and those databases are created for each election. And most of the time, the vendor or a contractor is the one that creates that database along with the stored procedures for each of these elections. And that's far after they're tested and certified and already installed in the counties. So the stored procedures can directly affect the votes inside the database. Anything, the programming of the election, the candidate names, the votes, the security keys, everything is all in that database. And these stored procedures have access to it. So imagine an attack vector where someone makes adjustments to those stored procedures that no one ever looks at or knows is even happening. which can totally affect every single election. They can customize the stored procedures for each election. And then the stored procedures can go, and after they do their deal, they can wipe themselves clean and restore them back to the normal stored procedure so they don't leave a trace and no one will know. They can basically self-destruct and self-clean. And that's what I'm showing here is a proof of concept of how you could do that. And actually, I used Grok to do it. It was really easy. I just took an existing stored procedure, told Grok what to do with it. Grok just recoded it in like 3 seconds. And I could plug this right back into Dominion. And that's what would happen is it would move 25% of the candidates' votes from one candidate to another automatically during the reporting phase. And then it cleans itself automatically. You'll look at it, look at the last page, the last image there, and that's the code that goes back and is restored after it kind of does its deal. All that stuff in pink there at the top, or orange, whatever it is, that restores it back to the default. So you wouldn't even know this happened. Plus, Dominion, for some reason, odd reason, they didn't turn on transaction logging on these databases. So these changes that are being made to anything in the database, there's no trace of it kept. When they easily could have turned that on, but they didn't. Maybe they just, it was probably an oversight on their part for, 10, 15, 20 years, who knows? Oops.
So let's talk about the stored procedure. If you were a Serbian and you had access to the source code in Denver and that source code was then put on other machines, that would include stored procedures, would it not?
Yes, and it could even be worse than that. So, for instance, when, let's say a county, we'll call it Mott County, Texas, even though they don't use Dominion there, but let's say Mott County election staff says, hey, we have an election coming up, Dominion. Can you program our election for us? Here's all the candidates and everything. And then the Dominion says, okay, we'll program that for you. And what I've heard is that even some people in Serbia are involved in programming some of these elections. And it doesn't matter where they are. But they program the election, they can set this up, and they're in that database anyway. So they could put whatever they want in any stored procedure they wanted. They package it in the database. Our election officials have no clue this is even happening. They get this database from Dominion or from their contractor that has programmed the election for them, and they put it into their system without even knowing that inside this database are these hidden stored procedures. They don't even understand the concept of this. And then it can completely control how the elections are run. They could pick whatever candidates they want to win. They can embed all the algorithms they want in this, and it can all wipe itself without leaving a trace and self-destruct. It's absolutely doable. It's like basic stuff. And if you also look at my posts on X, you'll see other IT people like me, software developers, database engineers are looking at this going, oh my gosh, this is terrible. I mean, they're all agreeing with me. Not one person has disagreed.
I have a phone call from a guy that literally told me, he was one of the guys that threatened me back in 2021. And he said to me, he goes, I'm reaching back out to you because I wanted to tell you you're right. And I was like, will you come on my show? I just want you to come on the show. Will you come on the show? Because we'll have fun with you. I'll forgive you. I forgive you. And he goes, well, it wasn't until I put the pieces together and started taking see, they try to keep it apart. You have what happens in Georgia with the curling case, and all the states are all different. They're not all different. And with the Eric's system, they have the ability to kind of move and shift votes and voter rolls and keep things very dirty. And now they're saying that the reason why they won't vote for getting rid of machines and mail-in ballots, or at least get rid of mail-in ballots, is because it'll disenfranchise millions of Americans. You mean millions of fake votes?
Millions of fake votes will be disenfranchised. And those phantom people, those fake people, we don't want to disenfranchise them. That would be very wrong to do.
Look, Mark,
the problem is if we get rid of this stuff, what's going to end up happening is they won't be able to put the illusion on anymore. The systems have been used to feed the illusion that they've provided us. And without the systems, it's like if you have a magician and you take away all the mirrors. It's kind of hard to do the magic tricks without the mirrors. And this is basically what it is. It's electronic mirrors. Yeah.
So how do we get to the end of it? How do we get to the bottom of it?
Well, you have to ask nicely.
What's that?
Ultimately, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to convince, well, there's a couple different ways, right? The nice way is to convince the right people that are in positions of influence and power open their eyes so they can actually see what the truth is, break all the lies that they've been told, and have them make the right decisions. And they will. When they know the truth, they'll make the right decisions if they're good, honest people.
If they're
If we
good,
can't make that
honest
happen
people.
in time, well, if they're good, honest people, and if we're not able to get in touch with the good, honest people and open their eyes to the truth, then I think ultimately what the citizens are going to have to do, we're just going to start running our own elections, and it's not going to be the prettiest of events, but we ultimately, this is our country. Elections belong to the people, and we're going to have to run them ourselves. That's
Mark,
it. We're supposed to be running them this whole time anyway.
Does anything that they're doing right now across the country show you that they believe that they actually are accountable to the people? Anything that they're doing at all? Anything?
Our elections?
Anything
In total?
I mean,
No.
they don't.
No,
they don't give us the time of day for anything. They basically can do whatever the hell they want to us because they think that we're basically theirs. Their property.
Most of them in there. There are some good people in there, and they're doing their best, but they're in an environment that is not conducive to them doing the right thing. You know, a lot of people, the whole system's before elections, it was all run by bribery, blackmail, and threats. Now it's run by bribery, blackmail, threats, and digital manipulation, and social media manipulation, and search engine manipulation. And they've got so many aspects of control of society. And I feel bad for those that are the good America First citizens that are in positions of power and influence, that have somehow got in or are still in and are doing their best. They're in an environment that's very difficult to operate because these demons have infected. You know, think of like if you have a cancer-filled patient, you know, there's still good cells, there's healthy cells there, but they're surrounded by cancerous cells. And eventually that cancer just destroys them too. So what we want to do is I want to empower those that are good, that are being surrounded by all those bad cancerous cells. I want to help them survive so we can fix all this. And luckily we do have some still in there. And like, you know, President Trump, I mean, he knew what he was up against. He didn't know how big the cancer was and how wide and deep it was and how the whole thing had basically metastasized. And that's what the woman was going over in the video that you showed at the very beginning of this. She finally saw the cancer. She saw all of it. And she got so overwhelmed. She's like, oh, the patient's going to die. The patient's going to die. I'll tell you what, you know, a lot of us have been told that if it had cancer, that you're not going to make it through cancer and that the cancer is going to take you. But we found ways through this. There have been people that have survived and beat cancer. A lot of people. In fact, Tina Peters is one of them. She's a cancer survivor. And if she can survive cancer, then the United States can survive this cancer as well. But what we need is the good, healthy cells to overwhelm. And we need to systematically, we need some ivermectin. Do we have election ivermectin? I don't know if that exists.
Yeah.
Bibles could work too. Yeah.
Yeah, we can put a little God in there.
A lot of God.
Yeah, I mean it would.
A lot of God.
That would solve a lot of problems. He just reaches down with his golden drop it right in the middle.
Yeah, some lightning bolts would be nice. I would love some lightning bolts. We could use that. I provide a list. I got a list.
Mark, we can't talk about we cannot talk about what happened inside of the hearing. We're not allowed to talk about that. What we can talk about is the attorney attacked Peter Tickton outside of the room. You weren't there, but you were part of the spillover. And then the attorneys wrote a nonsense brief to the court motion asking for more sanctions. And by the way, the courts have given them more money in every case than any other case out there. They have literally nickeled and dimed all, including me, $160,000 in penalties for nonsense. Then this has never happened before. And I have friends that are lawyers that are like, Joe, this is absurd. They say I want legal fees and they get it. They want legal fees and they get it on a case where it's it just doesn't happen, right? But again, it's this incrementalism, and these guys, these lawyers, Brad Clower, Charlie Kane, David Beller, these are just really disgusting individuals that are covering up crimes.
It's so sad. I mean, I don't know how people how do they do this without a soul? And I don't know how these people are captured, but they need to have, come to Jesus moments here. And people have to decide really what side of this they want to be on. Do they really want to be on the demon side, or do they want to be on the God side? That's what it comes down to. And for people that choose the demon side, they must have some really big issues. And I feel really bad for them, and I pray for them. And anyone can change at any moment. Anyone can decide, you know what? I want to change the trajectory of my life. I don't want this to be my legacy. I know there's a higher power somewhere. I know this isn't right. Anyone can change their mind at any time and do the right thing. And if one of them decided to do that, I would fully support him. Even if Griswold came out and said, okay, I'm done. Here's what I did. I want to make this right. I would support her. I'd stand right by her, and I would support her.
Just end everything you say in prison. Go ahead, say, keep talking.
If she came out with the truth and she took the right steps that she needs to take, I would even support fighting for her so she doesn't. Come on.
In prison.
Or in prison. Even in prison, I would help her. Yes.
You would help her in prison?
I would. If she comes out and says the truth, absolutely. I want people to do the right thing.
So nice.
And there's an opportunity for everyone to do that. If they don't do it, well, then we will crush them.
I think the crushing them part has to happen. I don't think evil crawls into a hole without force.
Well, usually, no, evil does not. And if people decide to walk from the evil, that's great. I hope they do. But, we have no choice as a nation. We have to crush the evil. And we're going to crush the evil. We will not stop until all the evil is crushed, period.
So Mark, you, I need to say this, 'cause I think it's important to say. They're going to say that, but you don't have any proof that actually happened in the election system. This concept one.
Okay, great. Prove it didn't.
That's my point.
Go ahead and prove it didn't.
But I mean, if you look at forensically, I was watching a show called Lincoln Lawyer last night. And I've been watching a lot of law and documentaries, and then reviewing case law and how cases are adjudicated, and watching even the cases that there's no gun. What's this guy? The Peterson guy, who killed his wife in California. You know what I'm talking about? Years ago, she was pregnant. Okay. They found her at the bottom of the thing, tied up and underwater, killed her.
Oh man, okay.
He's been in jail for a long time. They had literally all circumstantial evidence. They put together a story. They didn't have any evidence. Now he's serving life in prison with no evidence. Now I'm not saying he didn't do it, because a lot of the evidence is it's compelling. But in this, we have so much evidence. And all we have on the other side is nothing to see here, no there, nothing to see here, safe and secure elections, safe and supposed secure elections. But we have mountains of evidence, and we have whistleblowers from Serbia, from Venezuela, who said this is what they did. And yet we're still haven't had one arrest.
Yeah, that's all a lie. It's all a lie. And they've shifted the burden. They've done a great job of completely shifting the burden 180 degrees. They got the burden shifted on the people to prove there's fraud. Right. And so many people have spent 6 years trying to prove there's fraud. That's not where the burden is. The burden is on them to prove that the elections were accurately conducted. So what we should be doing is saying, no, you prove that every vote was counted properly and that no ineligible votes were counted. And if you cannot prove that, then these results are not valid. Then we're not counting them, period. That's what the American people need to do. The burden is not on us to prove fraud. The true burden is on them to prove the elections were run perfectly. And if they cannot do that, then they need to change the system to a system that allows them to do that, period. If they either prove it that it was right or it's wrong, period.
I want to play this if I can. This is Patrick Byrne. The grand jury evidence is unsealed, and Smartmatic being compromised. We know that Smartmatic was the direct link to Sequoia, which is a direct link to Dominion. We've also been able to trace back Dominion voting systems to Serbia, then becoming a Canadian company and swallowing up Polos, not the other way around. And then it was brought into the United States. I want to play this for you and get your thoughts. Let's go ahead and play it.
The federal government is now filing to release the grand jury evidence in that case. So that includes transcripts. I think it probably includes like some forensics evidence from phones, et cetera, right, related to the Smartmatic executives. And I do know that you're talking about the hardware that comes out of China is at least mentioned in the superseding indictment that was issued against Smartmatic in this case. So would we see that if the judge orders this unsealed?
Yeah, I think you will see that. You will see once the supply chain is shown to be compromised, it means the whole thing is decertified. Everything's a lie. Everything's a lie. I'm telling you, in that one warehouse in Taiwan, there's a switcheroo, and the parts that come from Beijing are sent to Smartmatic, and the parts that are supposed to be innocuous go some other place into the sea. Who knows? And so that's where the switch. And so we have all that documented, and they will have been able to prove it by seizing those machines. So remember, the other side thought they had 2024 in the bag. So that's that. So just that fact alone, if Muldrow, if he has found, if the U.S. Attorney in Puerto Rico has found that means all these machines are compromised.
Thoughts?
Everyone knows I've been to Venezuela. I've spoken with Smartmatic people. I've spoken with whistleblowers years ago. I've been investigating this for a long time, and I got a lot of stuff about Smartmatic that I have not gone out with yet.
Well,
So if you're not following me on X, you better start following me, because I'm going to start throwing a lot of this stuff out.
Well, let's talk about this. Patrick Byrne in Venezuela and Cuba. This is the connection between the two of those. Let's go and play it.
That's all been, that's a master stroke. And really the people we got to worry about that we got to deal with first, the 25-meter targets, they call it in the military, are Cuba and Venezuela. They did this. They were the general partners of this joint venture. There were other shareholders, China, Iran, Russia, CIA, who knows, but the general managers of the partnership that in the military, the 25-meter targets, the first guys you got to shoot. Then you worry about the people, the 100-meter targets, the 400-meter. The 25-meter targets are Cuba and Venezuela. And I think this is I'm an anti-war guy. I'm a Milton Friedman guy. There's not been a war as necessary since the revolution, with a possible exception of the Civil War. This is more important than World War I or World War II. We were overthrown by a Cuba-Venezuela 25-year espionage effort. And yeah, China is the chairman of the board of the joint venture, but those were the two guys we got to worry about first. And the Trump foreign policy of cleaning up this hemisphere, I'm totally fine with it. If the U.S. is going to survive, we got to clean up this hemisphere and carve out these tumors.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know as much as Patrick does on that connective tissue there. I know the computers very well. I know what I know. I know what I've experienced, the research I've done, what I've seen directly. But I'll tell you, it all aligns with everything I'm hearing here from Patrick, and I'm excited to learn about the additional connections. It's absolutely all believable, and I won't be shocked when we see it all happen.
Mark, thank you for coming on with me today. I wanted to talk to people about this stuff because I think it's important that we get to the bottom of it.
We have to. We have
Where,
to. We
what state are you
are
in,
not
by the
going to
way?
have a nation if we don't. Where am I? I'm in Alabama. Alabama. I had a broken spring in my trailer. I pulled into a lot to do a presentation about 4 days ago. I was backing in. I heard a big pop, and then I heard lots of grinding, and went and looked underneath, and spring broke, and part of my axle fell off. So I've been parked. I just picked up the replacement spring that I had to get shipped in here.
Dude,
So
that thing
I'm gonna go
is
lay under my
literally-
trailer and replace the spring myself here, get back on the road, and then I'm replacing all the springs because I have another 30,000 miles I got to do. I have like 20 states I got to hit it before November, so I can't afford to be off the road. So I'm going to be back on the road here in a couple days.
How do people follow you?
Patriot Mark Cook on X, and check my website, handcountroadshow.org. That is where I'm putting my journey here over the next year. All my stops, events, and all my previous events are also listed there with a lot of presentations that I've done, video for those presentations as well. But X is where I'm dropping everything
Amen to that. Well, I appreciate you, Mark. God bless you.
Back at you, Joe.
All right. Thanks, brother. We'll talk soon. Mark's been doing the hard work. As soon as I saw the concept of the stored procedures, we talked a little bit about that during the Erin Coomer, and they know we're kind of, when you start talking about these things, they know that we're cornering them. So the more and more they talk at the depositions, the worse it gets for them, and it just strengthens the criminal acts against them. Yeah, vindication's already happened. Vindication has already happened. It's going to be a long road for them, and I hope that they spend the rest of their lives in prison. That's what I hope, and I think it's happening. I think it's going to happen. I want to go back really quick, if we can, to the cold open video where we talked about red pilled. I don't think she's red pilled. I think she's getting black pilled. We got to bring her back to red pilled. And Erin has been working since her daughter, she's under X at Erin 4 Parents, Erin number 4 Parents. But since her daughter was groomed in a school up north, she's been fighting every day to stop what they've been doing to children all over Colorado. And I'm going to say to you this. I'm going to say this, and I think you have to pay attention to this. We would not have any of the problems we have in the state or any state. We would not have this degradation if we did not have stolen elections at every level. You wouldn't have it. If you didn't have free-for-alls and billions of dollars going to NGOs that are used to go after Americans, foreigners, we wouldn't have this problem. And I don't care if the system collapses by destroying these people. I don't care how many firing squads and treason cases have to be brought forward. I don't care. I don't care what it does to the financial system. The next generation cannot survive this. And if the goal is to kill off a large part of our population, which they've been talking about, then we don't have a choice. But Erin, I need to know what happened out of Colorado. 7 Democrats voted no on stricter penalties for child sex trafficking. Let me read this to you. After 7 Democrats voted no on stricter penalties for child sex traffickers, they also refused to sign the ballot measure to let the people have the say on the issues. The No Kings crowd believes their decisions are final. You, the people, don't deserve to make your own law. Not if they disagree with it. Cecilia Espinoza went as far as to lie and say it's illegal against the rules for reps to sign a petition in the Capitol. That is false. Lorena Garcia and Yara, these aren't even American names, just so you know. Just so you know, they're not. It's not difficult to figure out that you have illegal people, or people that are first generation that don't know anything about the ethos of our nation, that came here for the direct deal that they wanted to basically take away the rights of people of Colorado and people around the country. Yara Zokia fled like cowards. They must have a child sacrifice or DSA meeting to get to. Maybe they had to go order a hot coffee and make a no ice video. Let's watch the video.
Do you all support the right to have a vote? Would you sign the petition? In the Capitol? Okay, would you sign it outside of the Capitol? So you don't support the ballot measure? Do you guys support the ballot measure? So you don't support people's right to have a say? Yeah. It's only oh, God.
So none of them would sign it. None of them would sign it. And on top of all this, Soros's Open Society has been pushing for decriminalizing prostitution, which basically just means that they can do whatever they want to women and children and take advantage of the most vulnerable among us and say, okay, go sell your bodies and then you'll be able to eat food. Colorado State Democrats have introduced a bill to decriminalize prostitution. And there are the sponsors to the bill. Nick Heinrichsen, Lisa Cutter, Lorena Garcia, Rebecca Stewart. A bill to legalize prostitution. The selling of a woman's body, or man's body, I guess, too, so they can eat. They want to make it. They want to make that the better option. They want to make that the option for just legalize it, which is a slippery slope. Same thing you can say about the drugs. Today's show is going to be a little bit short, and I know it's Friday. There is some stuff, by the way, that Patrick may come in. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, Patrick may come in and do some introductions related to some of the stuff that are happening with the school system. I think he had some stuff. Patrick, did you have some stuff you wanted to maybe go over? Okay. So we'll have that ready probably on Monday or Tuesday. We'll see how it goes. But by the way, everyone give Patrick a good job. His shows in my absence have been fire, absolute fire. So thank you, Patrick, for doing that work. Make sure you thank him as well. Share the videos, comment, like, do all the things you have to do. I will be at Durango tonight at 5 o'clock. They have a debate there. I think it's a town hall debate-ish type thing. And then we have another one on Saturday in Sterling. We'll go ahead and put the flyers up at the end of this so you can see it as well. So I look forward to seeing you if you're there. Yes, I had surgery yesterday. Yes, I have another surgery next week. I'm just glad to get the maintenance stuff out of the way that I've been dealing with for the last 5 years. So some of it tied to being poisoned when they said I didn't get poisoned. It turns out that the repercussions of being poisoned in December of 2021 are coming back on me a little bit. And so I got to deal with that. But all is good. Surgery number 1 and 2 went really well, and I look forward to the next surgery, hopefully next week, if not the week after. So we'll get myself turned around tight and right, and I'll probably be out for a couple days during that. The doc says I'll be out for a longer time than a couple days, but you know me, I'll be back. Even if you got to cart me in here, they can come pick me up, pour me out into a seat, and let me talk. Yeah, so let's pray it out. Oh, before I do, I'll be taking some of these to Durango. These are challenge coins. Man, I feel like maybe I'm still in that little bit of that fog from the anesthesiologist. Man, does that happen? Is that like a real thing? It feels like a real thing. But we have these challenge coins. I'll be bringing those to Durango. I'll also bring them to Sterling. So you can pick them up. You can go to honorboundusa.com and pick up the full set. You can pick up all full set for $12.99 plus shipping and handling. And comes with a nice case, or you can get the individual ones for as little as $1.99 plus shipping and handling. But I will tell you that I carry these around in my pocket, and I give them out quite often. And so I will be in Durango. I'll probably be giving a few of these out. It is the Pray, Stand, Speak, Act coin set, and you'll see the cross that sits in our office as well that looks identical to that was made by Richard Cherry. So I'll say thank you again to him. All right, let's pray. Father God, thank you for the time that we have today. Thank you for the work that Mark has done. Thank you for the work that Patrick has done. Thank you for the work that so many have done to fight against this innate evil that just has consumed our communities and our country. We know, Father, that the elections are absolutely fraudulent from end to end. We know that the people that go through to steal the voice of the people see us as slaves and serfs. They see us as a lesser, Father. So I would just ask you that you lift up that veil for people in the community can see it, and that you bind us together. Give us the ability to stand together as brothers and sisters and to fight this evil and push it back in the hole it came from. Father, we ask a special blessing over our leaders, President Trump specifically, and the people that he has chosen on his cabinet, Tulsi Gabbard, Bobby Kennedy, Pete Hegseth, and even the others that, frankly, I think are doing bad things by not doing what is right and having people arrested and thrown in jail for their crimes against our community and our country. We know that the judiciary is rotted to the core, and we know that the people in it are doing bad things all day long, every day. And so, Father, we just ask that you allow it to be revealed and that we be given the power to hold them accountable. Father, we ask you to heal those of our friends that are sick, Dave Bear being one of them. Give him the strength to fight against this cancer that he has. Gammy Sparkles, she's been really sick. If you could heal her, Father, we would be grateful. We know that there are others that are struggling, so we ask you to give them the strength to fight against whatever it is that they're battling and get to a place where they can get back in the fight to restore you to our community and our country. I say these things, Father, humbly in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. All right. I'll see you guys in Durango, then I'll see you guys in Sterling. Remember, hit the share button, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and more. The information that you just had about Mark and the information that he shared and had shared for the last couple of days, I do think I'm actually having a little bit of that fog. I hope it doesn't affect my performance tonight. But, All right. We'll see you guys. We'll see you guys on Monday. All right. Take care.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Rising from the fight for the forgotten and the free, exposing rigged machines, Kuma's lies, dominions deceit, pays a grand each day, shielding truth from corrupt halls, but he won't back down, standing tall through it all. Tina Peters break the chains that bind her tight, hand count votes and one day bring the fraud to light. No more mailing scams, no machines to steal the night, restore the people's voice, make Colorado right. Governor Oltmann, lead us bold and true, badass for the have-nots, fighting through and through. Abolish property tax, cut the tolls away, shrink the bloated state, let the people have their say. It's our rally call, truth and freedom rise and watch the tyrants fall. Untamed Colorado, strong and proud, we'll be one man for the people, set our great state free. Help the single moms, bring back trade school strong, opportunity for youth, where the brave belong. Audit every NGO, ban the wolves that roam, reclaim our stolen land, bring the power home. Eric Kuma's fraud, dominions, rig design, expose the stolen votes, cross a dangerous line. No more victimhood, no chains on you and me. He's running for governor for real liberty. Smash the fraud machine, pardon heroes jailed, for the have-nots rising, truth will never fail. One warrior defies the corrupt elite, Colorado reborn, strong on our feet. Governor Oltmann, lead us bold and true, badass for the have-nots, fighting through and through. Abolish property tax, cut the tolls away, shrink the bloated state, let the people have the say. Governor Oltmann, it's our rally call, truth and freedom rise and watch the tyrants fall. Untamed Colorado, strong and proud, we'll be one man for the people, set our great state free. Whoa, 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 whoa. Governor Oltmann, lead us bold and true. Governor Oltmann, freedom forever, Colorado rise. Governor Oltmann, Governor Oltmann, Governor rise up untamed. In the heart of the fire where the wild ones roam, Joe Oltmann's calling, bringing truth back home. From conservative daily to this untamed fire, we shatter the silence, lifting spirits higher. No chains can hold us, no lies can prevail. Authentic and fearless on this rugged trail. Patriots gather under stars and stripes. Untamed nation, igniting the night. Untamed nation, let the truth roll out in this land of the free. Standing proud from sea to shining sea, we won't back down. Catch the fire, wear the crown. Untamed nation, it's our battle song, motivating hearts where the brave belong. Yeah, untamed and wild, forever strong. Play it again all night long. Break the mold, chase the real. No more games, time to heal. Joe's voice leads the untamed crew. Truth matters through and through. Untamed nation, let the truth roll out in this land of the free. Standing proud from sea to shining sea, we won't back down. Catch the fire, wear the crown. Untamed nation, it's our battle song, motivating hearts where the brave